Hello and welcome to dig number 3 of the Soul of an Artist excavation. So I wanted to do something a little off the beaten path, but still fun today. And then we're also going to do another intuitive abstract page today as well. But I wanted to talk about being an artist with ADD tendencies. Now, I've never been formally diagnosed with ADD or ADHD, but my entire life I have struggled with attention problems, focus problems, being able to stay organized. That's been a huge challenge for me. And, you know, I'm a pretty garden variety gal. So what I've found over the years is a lot of the things that I struggle with end up being very common for other people. So I think that this is a topic worth addressing very much so. So we're going to play a little bit of show and tell for the moment, and then we're going to do the page, and I'm going to play music to the page. Now, I'm trying all different kinds of ways of filming, and I got to tell you, I did my first voiceover for dig number 2, and my mic quality went way down when I hooked it up to my computer versus my camera. So I'm just going to try a few different ways. I really like to talk and have music both, and that's probably going to continue because that is a style that I've developed that I'm comfortable with. But I'm just going to, you know, get my feet wet with a few different ways so that I can really hone in on the best experience for you guys, because that is very important to me. So what I've got here, like I was saying, this is the intuitive abstract pages I've made so far. And the point I want to make about this concerning like the ADD stuff is, you know, a lot of my artwork, these pages they're very busy. They don't really have a focal point. And I was completely aware of that fact while I was making these. Now, I have a background in faux finishing, and that is my main foundation as an artist is background finishes and those kinds of things, textures, skip troweling, marbling, those kinds of finishes that don't really have a focal point. So my artwork doesn't always show it. But what I love about these pictures here is that this really speaks to some of the chaos that goes on inside of me. And, you know, a lot of the chaos that goes on inside of me is a beautiful thing. Now, does it wreak havoc and create problems? Absolutely. But it's still very much a part of me, and I benefit greatly from that. So here's what's so funny. Here's how I do these. Now, I'm going to back up for a second. When I was part of Robin McLennan's design team, she spoke with us about the importance of having a schedule for our videos. And so I was so inspired when she said that. And right away, I started mapping out my videos, and something happened to me in that process. I lost inspiration with the schedule. I didn't want to do what was on the schedule at the time that it needed to be done. So I kind of had to modify that. I didn't kind of have to. I really had to modify that to my way of working. If I get too tight into schedules and all of those kinds of things that are really tightly organized, I can't function as a creative if the limitations are really rigid. So now my solution is I loosely plan, and it's been working out pretty well for me. And another thing I've done is I've gotten massively organized. And when I was on that team, I was really suffering from disorganization and not being able to find the stuff that I wanted to use for the projects. And it was just these are problems I've had my whole life, right? But thanks to being on her design team, I came a long way in the organization realm. For example, these clear plastic, this one was cut. I don't know what they did, but I got them a little cut. So I just taped it to protect my papers. But she pointed these out to us to keep our digitals in. And so ever since then, I have put all of my papers, all of my kits in these plastic folders. And, you know, plastic see-through is very important to my organization planning today. For example, you know, I kind of talk in circles. This is another example of the ADD type stuff, but I always get to the point. So just stick with me and we'll have fun. Now, I started out my organization adventure with these boxes. These are photo boxes, and I got a bunch of these at Michael's, and then you can label them and you can make them really nice. And then these are feathers. Some of them are painted, some of them aren't. But this system does not work for me at all. I always have a problem. I still have this problem with stacking. I would like to get some shelving in between my stuff so that I can reach a box out without having to pull a whole stack. So that's an ongoing thing. But I have switched over to these. I swear by see-through organization for everything, for my kitchen, for my art studio. Everything now is in see-through bins. Now, here's where I dropped the ball. Here's another kind of thing that happens with this ADD personality. I bought labels and I just haven't done it yet. And I bought the labels over a year ago. Okay, so, you know, things fall by the wayside. But I'm telling you, if you're struggling with the stuff I'm talking about and you're struggling to find things and struggling to be organized, really consider see-through organization. It has just helped me immensely. So let's go back to these for a minute now. This is really chaotic with no focal point. Like I said, the faux finishing background, I'm really into background artwork and abstract artwork. And I love this piece right here. Now, another thing I do, okay, I wrote Canson mixed media paper, but I didn't write the color palette that I used on here. And I know there's only like 5 colors in here. I think, yeah, 5. Black, white, brown, green, and cream. But I'm gonna have to go back to this video to see which colors I used because I love this palette. It is such a nice palette. And then this one, these, I really am inspired by an artist on here. Her name is Red Queen Art. She has since kind of gotten away from YouTube, but her stuff is so inspiring. And I wanted to bring that up. See what I mean about talking in circles? This is just how I function. But I brought up a long time ago, do you guys want to, you know, hear my artistic influences and who I'm really attracted to? And I got a very positive response for that. And it's been really busy. I have not forgotten. In fact, it's on my mind every day. And I am going to do, I'm going to point out all the artists that inspire me, and I'm going to do it in a really creative and beautiful way here on my channel. So look forward to that. Now this page, this is also Canson mixed media paper, and I can tell by the feel of it. I know my papers very well. So, but did I write it? No, I didn't. I wrote the colors. I did write the color scheme at least, and I think it's really important, as I don't do this half the time, let me advise you, because I'm not taking it, right? I've got Golden, Artist Loft, and Anita's paints in here, so it is a good idea to put the brands as well, okay? So I don't want to get too deep into the show and tell, but I do want to do enough of it just to make my points. Now, this is funny. What I've started doing as far as Robin was talking about the importance of organization. For these videos, I do bullet points on just a little index card, and I do the title roughly of what I want the title to be, and I don't lock myself in. And I've got to tell you, let me bring you in, that has really changed things for me in a positive way, to not lock myself down. I loosely plan, I loosely schedule, I loosely write up my bullet points, and then I don't always stick to it, but at least it gives me some organization in my mind, you know, hit this, talk about that, da da da. So, but this really helps me a lot. And this is not just for videos, you know, if you're needing, I do this in my daily life. At night now, one of the habits I've developed that has helped me a ton is I reflect on the day, I reflect on my accomplishments for the day, and I set my goals for the following day. And I do this the night before. Now I have a loose plan for the week, okay? But things happen, and schedules get shaken up, and you know, things come to the forefront needing attention, you get it. But what I do is I will write like a bullet point list on a little index card every night of the things I want to hit for the next day. And that has helped me grow leaps and bounds with this focus issue. Now let's go through these real quick. The focus part of ADD for me, I can get very hyper-focused, like on a project. My last exhibit, for example, here's a couple pieces that we're going to talk about in a second, and I'll back you up for these. When I'm doing an artwork for an exhibit, it's bad because I neglect everybody and everything else that I have going on in my life at that time. So hyper focus is a very big part of this mind that I have, okay? And I fluctuate between hyper-focusedness and a lack of focus. Now, I wrote it back here. This is a very ADD list. Even I'm telling you guys, it touches every bit of my life. But something that I wrote back here is, I've already gone over a few of these, social media. Now, social media, I struggle with in a couple different ways, and it really shakes up my focus of my goals if I spend too much time on social media. I've also discovered that lately I get really sick. If I am on my tablet or my phone on the internet, I do okay on my laptop, but this is a problem I've had for a really long time, and it's just recently gotten worse. So that's just a little side note. But the good thing about that is it keeps me off social media. I've never been a big social media person. I see the detrimental effects of it in my own life, but I also see the need for it. So, you know, I'm more off of social media than I am on, but for my life, I'm very balanced with social media, and I think that there's a lot to be said for that, okay? Another thing about when I am focused and hyper-focused, I become a powerhouse of accomplishment, and that's why these little notes help me so much, is because I can get everything I need to do that's really a top priority down on paper. So I have done the act of writing it, and the act of writing it solidifies it in my mind. So that's what happens. Now, that's a positive and a negative, because like I said, you know, other things will fall to the wayside. Sorry about that. I had to cut out. I have quite a spoiled little tiny dog, and that's all my fault. But anyway, what I was saying is, you know, he would probably tell you I'm much more neglectful, but this dog has it made. So Anyway, though, you know, things fall to the wayside that probably shouldn't. And that's part of this. Now, rapid fire ideas flowing. That's a plus and a negative for this mindset of mine. And, you know, it's not about, for me, trying to get rid of who I am or trying to fix who I am, because I don't see myself as broken. I get just as much, maybe even more benefit from having this crazy mind of mine, but I need to learn how to leverage it to my advantage. And that's the point of this video, is to help you leverage how whatever challenges you have in your life, there is leverage within that challenge. And it's our job to find that leverage, to harness it, and to use it to our advantage. I'm very big on that. So now the rapid fire ideas flowing, that's a plus and a negative, because I have so many ideas and I am so inspired by, you know, my own imagination and other artists and all of those things. And then if I'm not constantly writing things down, ideas get lost. I have a loss of ideas, and to me that's a negative. But I cannot follow through on every idea I have. It would take lifetimes, which I have. I realize I have lifetimes, but I'm focused on this lifetime right now because this is the lifetime I'm in. So I've got to really, the ideas that come to me that are very important, I write them down, because otherwise I really do lose so much. And then another negative that has happened to me over the years, and I have a solution for this too, is I will make notes and I will write down ideas I have a pile, a little box of scrap papers of ideas, notes. But for the longest time, many years, I would make notes and lists, and then I would lose them. I don't know if you could relate to that, but what an irritating problem to have, right? So my solution for that is I just got myself a brand new day timer for this year, and I do this every year now, and I combine my goals and my ideas and my loose scheduling all in one place. Because if I'm on my phone calendar, I'm in this, which I do use my phone calendar for meetups with people so that I can keep track, but I need to have a focused place to put everything. So this is a massive solution for you here, right here, okay? So, you know, and another great thing of having this mind that I have is I have so many interests. And like I said, you know, I've got to leverage those interests. I can only have so many interests at one time. Here I am again talking and not working. I hope this is okay with you guys. This is not going to go on every week, but this topic I think really does need, you know, 20 minutes worth of attention. So now a couple more, let's just get through this real quick. A clean house equals a clean mind. I am a very cluttery person. I still deal with that. I probably to some degree will always deal with that. And luckily we had our little Christmas dinner, so I was forced to clean up a bunch of my piles, and that helped me a lot because it helped me to get organized. I bought some more see-through Tupperwares, and I got even more organized, and so it's all coming together. But a cluttered house makes for a cluttered mind, and that's been said time and time again. Now, another just side note that's not really artistic is, you know, I need a set place for my keys, my remotes. If I just flop my stuff wherever, then I'm in so much trouble. So, you know, having a set place for that stuff is perfect. And then we talked about this, the see-through organization and the pitfalls of social media. So all of those things I've had to learn how to leverage and balance to my advantage. Now, this was a mess around page where I was just, you know, playing with these new ideas and this style of artwork. So I did not film this one. But if you notice, you know, these are so busy and chaotic, and you know, I love them though. They really, like, this page reminds me of the nightlife in a city, a really grungy, like Friday night on the town, having to walk through an alley to get to one bar, from one bar to the next, which was my reality for a long time. And I did have a lot of fun, by the way, but it quit being fun, so I had to cool it. But this kind of artwork just, it touches fragments of memory for me, and you know, I love this. So, but there's a lot to be said for a focal point and that kind of thing too. Here's just some more playing around. This is all going to be a kit, by the way. I just have got through the holidays and been very, very busy. So this one's a tad bit calmer, you know, and then this one's crazy busy, but all of these really do lack a focal point, and that's okay. Not all of your artwork has to have a focal point. This has a lot going on in it. I'm really into the cracks lately, and I'm going to do a lot more with that. So now this one's a little bit more focused, and it's got a big focal point. It's got some stuff going on over here. So my point of these is, you know, there is value in both forms of artwork to me, focal point versus no focal point. I think that there's a lot of value in both. Now this one has this window, is the focal point in this image here. Let me back you up a tiny bit. And I'm very excited about, I've got these all scanned and I just need to put them together. Now here's a more focused, this was back in my intuitive jelly printing video, and this kit is in my Etsy shop. This is a lot more toned down. I mean, look at the difference. All coming from the same artist, okay? Very different artwork. This is much more subtle. I got the meanest comment on this video, and I let the gal have it right back, because you know what? If you don't like my stuff, change the damn channel. I mean, come on now, right? But this artwork I love just as much as the other. And you know, this is kind of a blending for me. This is a blending of moving from a faux finishing artist to a canvas abstract artist. This really encompasses both styles right here. So, you know, it's just, you got to let yourself try all the things that you want to try. And then when you start to do all these different pieces, now this is a runoff sheet. There's no focal point. It's just it's a really nice background for a focal point. And it's also a beautiful piece of artwork all on its own without being touched again. But, you know, if you don't let yourself try all of these different forms of art, how the heck are you ever gonna know who you truly are as an artist? And we're gonna be talking about our voice and the loss of artistic voice and the loss of somebody's voice in general. We're gonna be talking about this. This video may be a little longer this week. You know, I'm trying to keep around 30 minutes, but I'm not going to make any promises because I am experimenting at this time in my life, and that is the beauty of this mind that I have, that I do have the ability to experiment. Now, this is kind of funny, guys. Behind the scenes, I take a lot of classes. I invest in myself artistically, and I am in a position to do it, and the classes I take are quite inexpensive. So, you know, I am a firm, huge believer in continuing education. So this is a digital kit. I do a lot of digital artwork. I'm probably going to be offering some classes in the future on digital artwork. And if you're interested in that, please let me know. But those classes will absolutely be a paid class because I have paid for this education, and I cannot disrespect the artists that I paid for this knowledge. I cannot disrespect them by handing this information over for free. So if you're interested in digital art, it is way back burner, the classes for me, because right now I'm really focused on learning and perfecting digital art. I have a very specific direction I want to go with this artwork, and you're going to see later down the road. But I wanted to show you real quick some of these pages that I've created recently, and these are going in a kit. They're very different from each other, so it might be an art kit. Tell me what you think. If you think they all belong in the same kit together, let me know. But they're wildly different. I mean, look at how grungy this one is compared to how la 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 beauty this one is, right? And the background on this is one of my eco dyes, and I'm really, really interested in learning unique and fun ways to do artwork with my eco dyes beyond the artwork that they already are. Now here's another one this has a lot of yellow in it, and I love this sheet, but I'm not too thrilled with all the yellow. I wish it was a little bit more gray, but it's still beautiful. This one was a lot of fun. This one kicked off a few of these, and I sat up till 1 in the morning the other night working on these. So that's what I have so far. But you know, this is the upside of having this A.D.D kind of mind, is that you get to have all these different interests and you get to explore them. And I carve out time. I'm a very busy lady and I work really hard. And, you know, I get eye rolls from some of the people in my life because they don't take me seriously because I do artwork, and I blow them off. As fast as they blow off my artwork, I blow them off, because this is very important work to me. And any of you that are watching this channel I don't even need to say that to you, do I? Nope, I don't. So that's how that goes. You know, we each have a right to set our priorities the way that we need them to be. So now this artwork, this is so funny. There's all kinds of stitching going on. I'm seeing stitching everywhere I turn right now, and I love that because my last exhibit was all stitching. I stitched all of my pieces together for this exhibit. And when I do an exhibit, I don't generally do the artwork on my channel. 1, because of time, and 2, because I like to keep this artwork private. Here's more stitching because I sewed it all together in the end. But I keep my artwork private when I'm doing an exhibit until I display it in the exhibit. And I did a video right before I put this exhibit in of all the pieces, and I'll go ahead and link that for you below. So here's these, and here's the importance of focal points. Now, I got a lot going on here, but the baby's breath dominates. You know, and I've got skeleton leaves in here, and then I've got this other little beautiful little scrub oak leaf in here, but the baby's breath definitely steals the show. And you know, it's quite subtle. The color palette does not let these stand out much, but there is value in all of this work. So, you know, if you're struggling with focal points, you're struggling with balance, as I say again, welcome to the club. You know, these are all things that we go through as artists. Now, this is a painting I did a long time ago, and it was inspired by another painting I saw on Pinterest. Sorry for the camera shake. I was trying to back you up a little bit. But I was getting my bearings at this time with this style of work because I was teaching a lot of this style of work. And, you know, so focal points happen in my world, just so you know. But like I said, you know, just let yourself play, let yourself explore and do different kinds of artwork. And if you're into this artwork, let me know. This is not something I'm focused on for this channel at all right now. This is definitely more of what I'm focused on for this channel. But, you know, I am happy to hear what you guys want, because if you like what I'm doing, then that provides a whole point for me to be here. Because if you guys aren't liking what I'm doing, you know, what's the point of me being here, right? But this is also a style that I love to do. It's off the beaten path of what I'm doing right now, and I'm happy to put a few of these in. A very inspiring artist on here that I have watched a lot of when I was doing this kind of work all the time is Painting with Jane. So, you know, you don't have to wait for me to do something like this. Check out her channel. She doesn't even know I'm saying that about her, but this is how I roll. This is how I run my channel. So many times on this YouTube platform, I see artists that are doing things that I've seen before, and they say nothing about where it came from, and that bothers me. It bothers me big time. So anyway, now I'm really talking and not showing you anything and not working. So I'm gonna get the palette and everything together, and we're gonna do a really fun, intuitive, abstract page, and I will be right back to go over the materials with you. Okay, I'm back. So now this alizarin crimson hue, like my last video I made, I talked about how when you mix red wet on wet, you end up with shades of pink. So I'm going to be using alizarin crimson hue, and I have to work dry on dry for this page to keep the truest color that I've got here. And then I'm going to be doing black and white. So those are the only colors I want to use today. Now these are back from my big batch of collage papers I made, and I would like to do a focal point today. So I've chosen this. Now I've torn this off of this page. So, you know, it's good to have a little bit of something in another area of your work, and I'm just going to do this intuitively like I do every other page, and I may add some of this, I may not, and if I do other materials, I will show them to you like I always do as I go. Okay, so now what I've done here, I want to point this out to you. I always use Canson mixed media on these pages. I shouldn't say always, but usually. Sometimes I'll use watercolor paper depending on the media I'm using, but this is Canson, and then I've just got it taped off. Now I taped this off this time on an 11 by 14 canvas panel, and this is just so that I can have a bit of stability. I like to do that. So, you know, if you want to maybe work on a few different pages at a time and you want to protect them and keep them from getting bent, this is a great way to do it. right, so here's this page all done, and I really wanted to get that true red color in this one, and it was fun to bring back this part of the stencil and the center part and then leave that buried back, and really fun to play with Jacqueline Jimerson's stencil designs too in this. Pages like this really speak to me. This just feels so Native American, wartime, tribal vibe to me. And, you know, I picked the beginning with this piece of tissue paper here, and I let the page really just tell me what it wants next, and it's such a great way to work. And I think that comes from the ADD side too. You know, we just have to find ways to deal with the challenges that face us. And if you have these challenges that you relate to what I was talking about earlier, you know, and you have solutions that work great for you, I would love to hear about it. Throw it in the comments section below, and I will see you next week. Have a great day.